Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me is Taz, and we are here for the Iowa Fantasy Report for the NASCAR Cup Series. And this is going to be a regular feature on Fridays between Taz and myself. Taz is the expert. I'm just going to ask the questions, and we're going to go from here. So Iowa, the Corn Belt is on tap for this weekend, Taz.
It sure is, and this is a short track nonetheless, but it's a very unique short track, being in the sense it's more of like a tri-oval short track and multi-groove, and I know Richmond's a tri-oval short track as well, but this is more multi-groove. This kind of has that sort of mile and a half type of feel to it instead of the typical.
It's a fast short track.
Yeah, instead of your typical inside one groove type deal like a Bristol on certain days, Martinsville, definitely Richmond on that deal. But this is one that obviously this is the second time the Cup Series has run it. The first time was last year. But of course, a lot of these drivers in the Cup Series now have ran Iowa whether if it was through the Truck Series or Xfinity Series. So a lot of these drivers do have the experience to make that happen.
Okay, so they're not unfamiliar necessarily with Iowa. It's just a different type car that they're racing with the next gen car versus the Xfinity Series car.
Right. Yeah, and of course, we know we hear the different types of how the aero package, the gearbox shifting, how that whole shebang is all different. So again, it's just a matter of which drivers are comfortable with Iowa and comfortable with the next gen car.
Exactly, and some drivers have it figured out. Others are still working on it. But we've seen some drivers make some real progress throughout the season. So this season's stats make a big difference too, right?
Oh yeah, I would say so for sure. I mean, you're talking like last year, for instance, we'll use a good example in Josh Berry running for Stuart Haas last year. You would think he would be an easy underdog, being he's got the short track background, but with how Iowa is versus of the equipment Stuart Haas was running last year, it didn't fall into his favor. So, but you had guys who were running towards the top, like Ryan Blaney, for instance, winner last year. I mean, Blaney's a good driver, don't get me wrong, but some of the guys I should mention, like your typical short track guys, like Christopher Bell, who ended up getting a top 5 last year. Some guys.
You want to put your chart up now?
Yeah, so we got the weekly odds here. This is bases off of the website of actionnetwork.com. I took the 5 betting sites, like as you can see, BetMGM, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, and BetRivers, averaged out the odds, and this is kind of pretty much what I personally have came up with. As you can see, Larson and Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, all under that plus 1,000 odds to win the race. And those 5 guys right there, I would consider as your heavy favorites.
Well, now wait a second. Let me ask you, what does the yellow represent? The yellow drivers.
So the guys in yellow, those are your Chevy drivers.
Oh, okay. The blue guys are Ford.
Yeah, blue is Ford and silver is your Toyotas.
Gotcha. Okay.
Obviously, Larson and Bell pretty much neck and neck, as you can see. If you look at BetMG, or if you look at all 5 of the betting sites, they are tooth and nail, being that they're that close. Ryan Blaney, last year's winner, I'm a little surprised he's not a little lower than where he is, but of course, it's not always the big heavy favorite that wins the race. So I'm okay with that.
I'm surprised that Kyle Larson is as high as he is. And let me show you my chart is the reason why. When I look at this chart, you don't even see Kyle Larson is way down here. He started first last year, ran around 14th, but he ended up finishing 34th last year. So I don't understand why they have him so high. Can you explain that to me?
I think it's because of the fact Larson is just I think people are still riding on the fact Kyle Larson is the best all-around racer we have in the Cup Series. I mean, other than super speedways, which he's really catching up his game to, they really seeing as Larson as the guy to chase after. I personally am kind of with your chart here. I don't see Larson as the top guy, in my personal opinion. But that's
Yeah, I
also,
don't see him there either. I was thinking about Hamlin too, because Hamlin is kind of high there on some of those. Here he is, all the way down here. He finished 24th last year.
but the only thing I find with Hamlin is that I think I think Hamlin might have not had the luck on his side last year, but I see why they have him up towards the top, being that Hamlin is a short track racer. He's got that
He
nick
is.
for it. The one with the NASCAR fantasy app mentions that Hamlin is a hot pick, for instance. For example, he's won 5 out of the 19 short track races in the next gen car. He's finished top 5 in 5 and 11 of the last 13 short track races. And then he's got 15 short track wins in total. So maybe Iowa's not it, but if there's a driver here in the NASCAR world that you want to pick as picking your NASCAR fantasy lineup on the NASCAR site, or somebody that you want to put some money in, not encouraging gambling by any means, but if you are one that likes to do so and you want a guy that gets you the top dollar, Hamlin's not a bad pick at all
At least
get.
top 5.
Oh
He'll be
yeah,
in the top 5.
he's a top 5 definitely for sure. I know in the NASCAR app they have NASCAR fantasy app, they have 5 regulars, 5 starters, and then you have a garage guy. In my personal opinion, Denny Hamlin would be one of those 5 to go after. Another one that I would personally go after in this deal, and I understand he's more of a heavy favorite. This would be Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell's another short track racer, in my opinion, as well. He did finish top 5 here last year.
Yes.
So Christopher Bell is one that I would put in my starting 5. Ryan Blaney, last year's winner, again, catching up with the short track scene. He's not only has he won here at Iowa last year, but he's also won at Martinsville. He's usually a top runner, I think, at Bristol, if I remember right. So Blaney, I would put in your top 5 as well. William Byron and Kyle Larson, I know they're the heavy odd people, but these two, and I know the NASCAR app says that Kyle Larson is a hot pick for this week, being that he's won 2 of the last 4 short track races, 6 total short track wins, with 4 coming in the next gen era, and he's finished 7th or better in the 10 out of the last 11 short track races.
Oh,
There's your
I
Kyle
see.
Larson. Yeah,
Oh,
they have
okay. I
Kyle
got
Larson
you.
listed as a hot pick as well. In my opinion, Kyle Larson's not a hot pick. I
I would
understand the
agree.
stats given here, but after the Indy Coke 600 double he's attempted, he's not been as hot as we normally do see him. So I personally would not put Kyle Larson as a top 5 guy in my starting lineup. William Byron, if you want points, I guess you can put him in. My
That's good.
personal top 5, I've gone with Bell, Blaney, Hamlin. Larson, I'm writing out the window. William Byron, if you want points, you can throw him in, but it's not a guy I personally would throw in here. There is a Hendrick driver I would throw into the hat, and that's Chase Elliott, in my opinion. He's now the regular season points leader. He's been hot he's been hot at the right time, not only winning in Atlanta, but he's putting together some good, strong finishes. What seemed like he was the number 3 of the Hendrick camp, he's now coming through, putting together results. And I know that plus 1140 kind of makes people question, but honestly, that is an okay odd to go with.
Okay.
He's not he the another one I would possibly look at. So I would put Elliott as a top 5 to start. And then the next 3 I'm going to mention, you can go either way. You can easily make an argument for either one of the three: Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, or Tyler Reddick. Joey Logano, again, is a short track racer.
Yep.
Penske was strong last year at Iowa. Chase Briscoe, if we looked at the last couple of weeks, he's been a strong showing. And with the equipment of Joe Gibbs and the crew chief he's got in James Small, it's there. Truex was doing well in short track racing. This is the 19 team. Chase Briscoe, a younger driver, hungry, with the right equipment, with the right team. I would think about Briscoe maybe a top 5. Then of course Tyler Reddick. I mean, Tyler Reddick, not a typical short track racer, but being that this is a multi-groove type of track, Reddick can run the outside and can make
Passes.
magic happen. That's just
Yeah.
how he is.
I want to look at those Taz real quick against my report here. Chase Elliott is up there. He had a third place finish last year. He's one of the 5 drivers that have a driver rating from last year that's over 100. So Chase Elliott is third in that group with 116. Blaney has the highest one because he finished. He won that race. William Byron's up there as well. Started 4th and finished 2nd. Chase Elliott started 9th and finished 3rd. Josh Berry, though, went the other direction. He started 3rd and finished 7th. Joey Logano started 11th and finished 6th. Christopher Bell was in that top 4. He had a 4th place finish starting from 10th. Alex Bowman started 33rd. Now, these are the guys that made a lot of passes. I highlighted where they finished, that they finished in the top 10. He started 33rd and finished 8th, so he made the passes. The one who had the highest passing percentage, quality passes at Iowa last year, was Daniel Suarez at 93.8, and he finished in 9th. Brad Keselowski started 5th, but ended up finishing in 10th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. started 35th and finished in 5th, but he didn't have the quality passes. His quality passes came in at 28.2, which tells me that he probably got up there through strategy versus passing. So I thought there were some interesting stats here. You mentioned Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick is here. He started 8th and finished 22nd last year. And his driver rating came in at 71.6 is Tyler Reddick's driver rating. So, but you're right. He is a good short track racer. He ran around 5th place for most of that race. He was in the top 5. So something must have happened at the end of that race that caused him to end up with that 22nd place finish. And I think what happens with Tyler Reddick a lot of times is he's an aggressive driver. So I think sometimes he loses and ends up with a worse finish than where he's running. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, Reddick is one of those that team is dangerous if they can go start to finish at 100%. I've said it. I have personally said it to many people the last few years. Tyler Reddick is one heck of a driver. To me, he could be like a Kyle Larson 2.0. But again, there's something with Reddick that if something goes wrong, it goes wrong.
It goes really wrong. Yeah.
And there is no like small mistake and he recovers. Like if it's wrong, it's wrong. But Tyler Reddick, literally, if they can go 100% from green to checker, Tyler Reddick is a dangerous driver.
So he's not a bad pick. I'm not saying he's a bad pick. I think he's a great pick, especially for the short tracks. I just question what happens during the race, and it's a tricky pick. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said before, if you're going in the NASCAR app, go and pick with your top 5. My personal would be Bell, Blaney, Hamlin. Byron, if you want points, wouldn't be a bad one. Chase Elliott, personally for me, I would stick in there as that top 5. And then Logano, Briscoe, Reddick, all of them have a great case, great argument. to also be into that top 5, or even maybe your garage driver, you can switch for any of those top 5 drivers at any point before stage 2 ends. A couple of picks that the NASCAR Fantasy app recommends to avoid. I'm going to name the 2 off quick while you're pulling that up. One is Kyle Busch, and the other one is Chris Buescher. With Kyle Busch, he has 16 short track wins, but the last time he won was back in 2019, so that's before the next gen era. No top 10 finishes in the last 11 short track races, and he's only got one top 10 short track finish since joining RCR. So I would not consider Kyle Busch for your lineup at all.
His odds come in at 2,500, which is not good.
Chris Buescher, on the other hand, and this is kind of an odd one to avoid, being that he's finished outside the top 10 the last 7 short track races. He has yet to even lead a lap in the last 5 short track races and finished 18th at Iowa last year.
Should we be worried for Chris Buescher? Because he's right on that bubble now. He's one of 3 drivers that do not have a win yet this season in the top 16.
This is one Chris Buescher and RFK are, I wouldn't say necessarily hit the panic button, but they're going to sit here and be like, I bet you their list of wrongs is longer than their list of rights, and they're going to want to turn that completely around. They want to make all their wrongs the rights to try to keep him into that playoff pick.
Like I said, there's only 3 drivers and I want to look at the playoff picture here because this is what's counting, with just 4 races left. The vulnerable drivers, and these guys, Tyler Reddick is 138 above, Alex Bowman is 63 above, Chris Buescher is 42 points above. If somebody from below the bubble wins, and I think that there are some drivers here that could do that, including Brad Keselowski, it's going to push Chris Buescher out.
Well, we have to also look at this too. There is 4 races left. And
yes.
So Josh Berry, who is the lowest point driver with a win.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
He could get knocked out. So if I were Josh Berry, if I were him and his team, this is a track I want to get a very good result / good finish with, or in hopes that somebody who's already won this year repeats to really, so that way they're guaranteed, they're really guaranteed a playoff spot, because right now 3 drivers are in on points, but with 4 races left, those 3 drivers who are currently in on points are not even safe. And Josh Berry's not even safe with him being the lowest in points with a win.
That's true. This could be the first year that we have a driver with a win that does not make it into the playoffs.
I mean, we were close to it. I think it was the first year of the next gen. We could have had 16 winners, but with Kurt Busch's injury, that kind of pushed one driver in on points.
Well, now, here's the thing. In order for it to get up to Josh Berry, though, all 4 of these next races, including Iowa, would have to be drivers from below the cut line getting victories, right?
It would probably, Reddick, Bowman, and Buescher, I would say any of the 3 that are above
could lose points if they don't have a good race.
I would say if Reddick, Bowman, or Buescher win, I think their case would be risen a little higher. Yeah, they would only have 1 win to them, and 1 guarantee themselves in, but at least it would put them in a better position than where they are.
They're ranked higher than Josh Berry is, and Austin Cindric, for that matter.
Yep.
It's a really fascinating year to be watching all of this year.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And I mean, if we get another fuel mileage race like we did with Indy last week, I should say, who knows what could happen.
It is fascinating. So I love Iowa Speedway. I've been there a few times as a media member, and that track, they call us the fastest short track. It's right on the inside wall of Iowa Speedway. So it is a fast short track. A lot of drivers love that track. It's, of course, those are the ones that are good at it.
Yeah.
But they do like that there is room to pass there.
Yeah, like Iowa's that unique short track, as I mentioned earlier. It's got like that 1.5 mile racing feel to it. It's just fast paced, multi groove. A lot of the
Yes.
drivers love it. It fits this next gen car pretty well. I don't remember if I saw anything, but I think there might be a tire option for this race.
I'm looking here, Goodyear Tire Facts. The June 3 and 4 tire test at Iowa Speedway provided valuable data from all 3 NASCAR Cup Series OE manufacturers. Kyle Busch in a Chevrolet, Austin Cindric in a Ford, Chase Briscoe in a Toyota. As such, Goodyear will bring new left and right side tires for the 0.875 mile track. Iowa presents a unique challenge with speeds and sustained loads, as well as 2 different ages of asphalt on the surface. The new race recommendation of Goodyear Racing Eagle tires for the Cup Series is ready for that challenge, as shown during that June test. They do have dry weather sets 11. They've got 4 wet weather sets.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say,
and one qualifying that can transfer to the race, and 1 practice set.
I was gonna say, if I remembered right, NASCAR, with this being a short track, NASCAR's got the wet weather. I shouldn't say the full wet weather package, but they at least have the rain tire.
Yes, they do have the rain tire there. That's what they've got for the tire package at the track this weekend. I'm trying to make it bigger to make it a lot easier for you guys to read it.
Basically, we're getting a brand new tire for this race. So
it's brand new tires for this race based on what they learned from the tire test in June.
We could be in for a hoot.
So that means that last year's stats may or may not apply here.
Yeah, this could be another curveball into the mix. So the question is, with the testing that was done back in June, who's sharing the notes and who's not?
That's true. But they had all 3 manufacturers there. So all 3 manufacturers would have access to their data, I would think.
We would think that's the case.
Okay. So what else do we need to talk about? Are there dark horses to think about here?
Definitely.
Sleepers?
There is one sleeper that NASCAR did bring up. That was Ross Chastain, actually. Finished top 10 in the last 5 short track races and has finished 11th in Iowa last year. This is probably a garage driver I would consider. Another one I would consider would be Josh Berry. As I've pulled up with my odds, he's just above 2,000. He's right with Ross Chastain in that 2,000 category. With what you pulled up, Sharon, his rating is up there as well. And
yes,
so Josh Berry is another one I would definitely consider being.
He's in the hundreds with his rating, 110.2 for his driver rating. What about Daniel Suarez starting from the 13th position and having a 93% quality passes? Could he be a sleeper?
I would say he's sleeper. I know in the odds deal he's currently on my sheet he's at a plus 6,600. So if you're looking for a little extra cash to probably put him as like a top 10 finisher, that I would put Suarez into that category. If you're trying to put him as like a top 5 or a winner, good luck. Yeah, that's all I got for you. But Suarez, if you want him as like a top 10 category person, as like a long shot sleeper type deal, Suarez is a good fit. And of course, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., as you have highlighted there, with a top 5 finish. So there's a couple of the long shot guys I would I want to highlight and pretty much say if you want to put them as like garage picks or guys as like your long shot runners, I would put them in there.
Oh, okay. I'd say any of these 4 that I've highlighted here because they all have positive stats. 33 to 8th for Bowman, 13th to 9th for Suarez. Keselowski started 5th and ended up 10th. He stayed in the top 10. And then from 35th to 5th for Stenhouse Jr. Those were all guys that moved in the right direction. that were
And then,
below.
and then one more thing I want to highlight is the featured matchups. And then Sharon, if you want to do like a friendly competition for the heck of it, see who we would pick over the other for this one. They got Bubba Wallace against Ross Chastain as the first matchup.
I'm going to go Ross Chastain.
I'm going on the other side. I think momentum will carry him. I'm going to ride on the Bubba Wallace train. Next one, we got Chase Elliott against Christopher Bell. This is the barn burner here.
I'll let you go first since I went first last time.
I'm picking Chase Elliott with how well he's been riding the last few weeks.
And I'll go with Bell.
Next matchup, we got Stenhouse against Josh Berry.
Ooh, I got to go first this time. I'm going to take Barry.
I am on the Berry train as well.
Okay.
Being that's kind of a fourth Penske car. Penske runs well here. Barry's the short track guy.
And you get first pick here.
Blaney against Byron. I feel more comfortable with Ryan Blaney in this case.
Yeah, me too. I'm on the Blaney bandwagon. Okay, so if you're listening to this video, we'd love for you to tell us who your picks are in these matchups between Wallace and Chastain, Elliott and Bell, Stenhouse Jr. versus Josh Berry, and Blaney versus Byron. Who are you picking in those cases? And if you want to also tell us who are your top five, your five picks for the matchup here on NASCAR's fantasy game, that would be great as well.
Yeah, let us know. Like, there's plenty of options. I've pretty much given my starting 5 or 6 and given couple drivers that I know Sharon's highlighted a few other drivers that could help make your top 5 and garage pick driver.
Okay, so for me, and I'm going to remove that one and put up a different one. My top 5, is that what you're looking for? I would say my top 5 are probably going to be Blaney, Elliott. I'm going to put Logano and Bell in there, and Josh Berry. Why not? Did I give you 6?
I think you might need one more in there.
Bell, Blaney, Byron.
My 5 with garage would have to be Bell, Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott. I'm going Briscoe with Berry as my garage.
Okay, so those are some good picks. Okay, so I'll go Bell. I'm going to redo mine because I forgot about Hamlin and some of these other guys. I'm going Bell and Blaney for sure. I'll put Elliott in there. And I think I'm going to put Hamlin, and I'm going to take a chance on Reddick. Even though I know Briscoe is doing really good right now, I'll take Reddick on this one, and I'll put Berry in the garage. How about that?
Not a bad choice at all.
Okay, so there we go. And I think this will be a lot of fun to watch and see what happens this week at Iowa Speedway. I do think that we've got some interesting picks there, and I think we've given fans a lot to think about for their picks for this weekend. So that's what the purpose is for doing this show.
Oh yeah, and this I think will be a fun one for sure. I think next time I'll throw in some of like top 5 considerations, garage considerations, and I know it's the first time doing this, but I think we know where to go, and I think this one went pretty well, and we can only go up from here.
Exactly. Yeah. Please keep that in mind, fans. Do watch for more coming soon. This is the first time that we're doing this fantasy report for the upcoming races for the weekend. So bear with us as we continue to learn and grow with this. And like Taz says, we got nowhere to go but up from here.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
We've got all of our previews. I'm putting out the Cup Series and our fantasy report today for Iowa Speedway. On Monday, we'll be back with all the reviews of the racing at Iowa Speedway this past weekend. Monday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time, we will have our Hot Topic Sound Off discussion. We had a lot of views last week, 167 views for our Hot Topic conversation last week. So hopefully that continues. We're starting to get some interaction from folks. All Sports All Day was there. We appreciate everybody who interacts with us during our Hot Topic Sound Off conversation. It makes it a lot more interesting. And then we've got the next weekend coming up of racing, which is going to be Watkins Glen, and the ARCA West is going to be racing. So, that's going to be fun for next week. I think we've got 4 races coming up next week. So thanks everybody for tuning in. We always appreciate it. And Taz, I'm looking forward to doing this again next Friday with you.
I'm looking forward to this now. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
I think so too. So take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend of racing, and we'll see you on the other side.